بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. We continue reading from the beginning of guidance بداية الهداية by Imam Al-Ghazali رحمه الله ونفعنا بهم في الدارين آمين آمين آمين. Protect your tongue from 8 things. So we continue. Lying. Guard your tongue from lying both in seriousness and in jest. Do not let it get accustomed to lying in jest. Joking. Leading you to do so in earnest. Indeed, lying is one of the breeding grounds of the deadly sins. Moreover, the deadly sins أمهات الكبائر. Moreover, if you become known for lying, people will lose confidence in your word, mistrust you, and look down upon you. If you wish to understand how despicable it is to lie, look at the lying of others. Consider how repelled you feel by it, your disdain for the person who lies, and your judgment of his action as immoral. Do this with all of your faults, for you cannot know the ugliness of your own faults except by seeing them in others. Most certainly, then, what you have found repugnant in others, they will find equally repugnant in you. So do not content with these faults in yourself. Breaking a promise. الخلف في الوعد. Beware of ever promising something and then not keeping your promise. Rather, let your goodness toward people be in the realm of action, without the need for words. But if you are forced to make a promise, then be careful not to break it, unless you are incapable of fulfilling it, or you have to do so out of absolute necessity. For indeed, breaking a promise is among the signs of hypocrisy and repugnant character. The Prophet ﷺ said, and this is hadith muttafaq alayh, narrated by Bukhari and Muslim, there are 3 qualities which, if they lie hidden within a person, render him a hypocrite, even if he fasts and prays. When he speaks, he lies. When he makes a promise, he breaks it. And when he is given a trust, he betrays it. ثلاث من كنا فيه فهو منافق وإن صام وصلى من إذا حدث كذب وإذا وعد أخلف وإذا اؤتمن خان. A very famous billionaire in the United States, Warren Buffett, when he was asked about the qualities of potential employees, like what's the criterion, he said they are trustworthy, because everything else you can learn later on, hands-on courses, workshops, seminars. Many degrees at university level, your bachelor degree, your BA, most probably does not prepare you for the workforce nowadays, especially. But that quality, because if you have all the other qualities, management skills, computer skills, science, everything except that you are not trustworthy, what good is it? Backbiting. Restrain your tongue from backbiting, for backbiting is a sin more severe for a Muslim than 30 acts of adultery. Imam ibn Hajar Asqalain said, La asla lah. This is not really a hadith. So restrain your tongue from backbiting. Imam Ghazali says, as is the narration about backbiting is sin more severe for a Muslim than 30 acts of adultery. It's not. It's not a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Okay, it's a narration of someone, but it's not a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. The meaning of backbiting is that you make mention of someone in a way that he would dislike it if he were to hear it. Doing so makes you a backbiter and a wrongdoer, even if what you say is true. Beware of the kind of backbiting that is committed by reciters who are showing off. Beware of the kind of backbiting that is committed by reciters. No, it's the absolutely the translation is. I mean, let's read the Arabic first. وإياك وغيبة القراء المرائين. Here, rather than beware of the kind of backbiting that is committed by reciters, no. Because the rest of it is really, it would explain that this is not the case. Beware of uh, backbiting against the reciters who are showing off. Do not backbite. They show off, that's bad. Don't backbite. Don't mention that. This is why it says وهو بأن تفهم المقصود منك من غير تصريح فتقول أصلحه الله وقد سأني ما جرى عليه وغمني فأسأل الله أن يصلحنا وإياه. That's backbiting. That's backbiting. This form of backbiting is that you make your meaning understood indirectly. Saying, for example, may Allah rectify him, I am truly saddened by what has happened to him, and it has worried me. I ask Allah to rectify both us and him. So do not backbite against the reciters, even when they show. It's very clear. You don't have to mention it because really you might want to make it sound as if you really care about them, but that's backbiting. For indeed, this insinuation is a combination of two reprehensible acts. One is backbiting, since the other person understands the point being made. The other is considering yourself virtuous and praising yourself by passing a judgment of evil on another and expressing righteousness for yourself. However, if your true intention is saying, may Allah rectify him in supplication, they do supplicate for him, but silently. Silently, uh, like uh, as we say في ظهر الغيب, away from people, away from a context where you will be seen or heard or what have you. And the supplication, uh, when you are on your own, make supplication for other people, inshallah it will be accepted. If you really were concerned about him, the proof of that would have been that you would not have desired to disgrace him or reveal his faults. However, your display of concern over his fault is in reality a display of his fault. Even if you don't mention a name, say that in a social context at a time when only one event of the kind that you are talking about uh, has been attributed to a specific person here. When it says the reciters, the imams, the scholars, the fuqaha, the jurists, the theologians, the scholars of hadith, and so if there's something that happened and it could be attributed only to one person in a specific context at a specific moment in history, then people would know. Don't. Sufficient as a deterrent for you against backbiting are the words of Allah, magnificent and majestic. And let not some of you backbite others. Would any of you like to eat the flesh of his dead brother? No, you would truly despise that. ولا يغتب بعضكم ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه. How appropriate it is then for you to be on your guard against such a thing. There's a matter which would stop you from backbiting against Muslims. Were you to ponder it, turn to yourself and consider, is there no flaw in you, apparent or hidden? Are you committing any act of disobedience, open or hidden? If you know this to be so about yourself, know also that the other person's inability to free himself from what you have ascribed to him is the same as your own, and his excuse is the same as yours. Just as you hate to be ashamed in public, in public, even if it's really before one person, and you're forced to be mentioned, so too does he. Yet if you conceal his faults, Allah Most High will conceal yours. Cover for your brother. This is not an encouragement, for him to sin. And remember that all the children of Adam are sinners, and the best of sinners are the repenters. All the children of Adam are sinners. You are one. I am one. We maybe psychologically, when we read about the story of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, One might think about had he not sinned, and it's one sin only, he would have stayed in paradise and maybe we would be in paradise. Okay, one sin compared to how many sins that we commit. One sin. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave him. The words that Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam received, Wallahu alam, were words to teach him how to repent because he did not need that knowledge before he sinned. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave him. فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِ. If, however, you disgrace him, Allah will let loose upon you sharp tongues, أَلْسِنَةً حِدَادًا, ruining your honor in this world. Then Allah Most High will shame you in the hereafter in front of all creation. All will seek uh, forgiveness and sitr in this world and the hereafter, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not shame you in this world, neither in this world nor in the hereafter. If you have looked at the outward and inward aspects of yourself and not found any flaw or deficiency, neither in religious nor worldly affairs, then know that your ignorance of your own flaws is the vilest type of stupidity, and there is no greater flaw than stupidity. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills good for you, He will give you the ability to see your faults. Looking at yourself with an eye of satisfaction is the height of foolishness and the epitome of ignorance. If, however, you are truthful and sincere in your opinion, then show gratitude to Allah Most High. Do not ruin this blessing by slandering others and sullying their reputations, for that is one of the greatest faults. Number 4, disputation, argumentation, and competitive debate with people. Let me start by mentioning something about Imam Ghazali's life after he gave up his position in Baghdad, distributed his wealth. He went into a life that is incognito when you are very famous, very powerful. All the things that he gave up, and he wanted simply to cleanse his heart. 11 years before he returned to Baghdad and then to Nishabur, a short return to teaching and back to Tus Khorasan, to his birthplace. So he, from Baghdad to Damascus to Jerusalem, where he stayed at Al-Aqsa Mosque, of course, and he wrote رسالة القدسية, رسالة بيت المقدس في العقائد. But what I want to highlight right now is that he visited Al-Khalil, Hebron, and there he pledged 3 things. One of them was never to debate. ألا أجادل أحدا. He pledged never to debate anyone. If you think about it, debates, it could be that you are on your own side and not on the side of truth. And the Test for this: would you accept that truth will emerge from the other side, quote unquote, the opponent? Or should it be only you who would say the truth? So, disputation, argumentation, and competitive debate with people. Jidal, competitive debate. Argumentation, it's debate really. It does not correspond directly with the Arabic, but it's fine. These things entail harming the one being addressed, making him feel ignorant and criticizing him, as well as praising oneself and attesting to one's own superiority in both intelligence and knowledge. Moreover, these things disturb the clarity and peace in your life, because if you debate with a fool, he will annoy you, and if you debate with a more intelligent person, he will disdain and detest you. Not exactly, but there is uh, Imam Shafi'i. It has been also attributed to others, to Ali bin Abi Talib, also I think, but most probably it, it's something that Imam Shafi'i said. Wallahu alam. He said, "I have never debated an ignorant person except that he won, and I have never debated a scholar except that I won." The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Whoever leaves a quarrel while he is in the wrong, Allah will build him a house on the outskirts of paradise. And whoever leaves a quarrel while he is in the right, Allah will build him a house in the highest part of paradise." Scholars did debate why the word mubtil, and it seems also it has been mentioned as batil. You should not allow Satan to deceive you when he says, "Speak the truth clearly and do not dissemble." Satan is always trying to entice foolish people to evil by presenting it to them as goodness. Do not become a laughing stock of Satan, letting him ridicule you. Making the truth clear is a good thing when done with someone who will accept it from you. This is best accomplished by way of honest, sincere counsel, not disputation. In offering such counsel, such there is a proper form and manner, and it requires gentleness and courtesy. Otherwise, it tends to humiliation of the other person, and its evil outweighs its good. Whoever associates with the pseudo jurists of this time of Imam Al-Ghazali, will find his nature increasingly dominated by disputation, and silence becoming difficult for him. This is because corrupt scholars have influenced him to believe that such disputation bears merit, and that skill in argumentation and competitive debate is indeed what earns him praise. Flee from these scholars as you would from a lion. and know that such disputation is a means of incurring the hatred both of Allah and creation. Number five, ascribing goodness to oneself, tazkiyatun nafs. Indeed, Allah Most High says, do not ascribe goodness to yourself. He is more knowing of the one who is God-fearing. فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. A sage was once asked, what is something true yet vile? He answered, a person's praising himself. Beware of getting accustomed to doing this. Know also that it decreases the esteem in which people hold you, and causes you to be detested by Allah, the Magnificent and Majestic. If you wish to understand how praising yourself does not increase you in esteem with others, consider how you feel when your contemporaries praise themselves for their merits, rank, and wealth, how your heart disapproves of it, how your nature finds it unbearable, and how, once you are away from them, you criticize them for it. You should realize that when you praise yourself, they too revile you in their hearts while they are with you, and then when they part from you, give voice to their feelings. Number six is cursing. Take care never to curse anything that Allah Most High has created, whether an animal or a type of food or a particular person, nor to swear that one of the people of the Qibla is guilty of associating partners with Allah, or of disbelief, or of hypocrisy. Indeed, the only one who sees the secrets of the hearts is Allah Most High. So do not come between Allah Most High and His slaves. Know that on the Day of Judgment you will not be asked, why did you not curse or insult so and so? Or why were you silent regarding so and so? Moreover, if you never once in your entire life curse Iblis, Satan, or even make mention of him, you would not be questioned about it. But if you curse someone, you will be held responsible for it and be questioned about it. Do not find fault with anything in Allah's creation. For the Messenger of Allah وسلم, never once criticized food that was not good. Rather, if he liked the food, he would eat it, and if not, he would leave it. That's narrated by Imam Muslim. This is mentioned here uh, as a narrative, but it's really originally comes from hadith. In fact, if we can mention, the Prophet ﷺ praised vinegar when someone presented him only with bread and vinegar, and he praised vinegar. He did not really complain. But cursing, the Prophet ﷺ was very careful. A woman cursed a she camel, and the Prophet ﷺ said, "Da'uha فإنها ملعونة." Just leave it now. You have cursed it. You cannot really ride or use that she camel. And they would see that she camel, and no one would touch it. And that's a punishment for the lady. If you curse someone, the curse will go to heaven, and if that person deserves it, it will hit him. If not, it will bounce back to you. Okay. But that does not mean that you absolutely don't care. We know that when the tribes of Ri'al and Dhikwan and Usayya, they killed the 70 reciters. The Prophet ﷺ was so upset, was so angry with them, and he, for a whole month, he invoked, he supplicated, he uh, against them. Okay, and cursing, really, Allah, you are supplicating that they will be dismissed from Allah's mercy. Okay, yes. So Real and Dhikwan and Usayya, but somehow it seems that the primary culprits were from Real and Dhikwan, Wallahu Alam, but at any rate, I have because of this ethos that we are speaking about, in general I refrain personally, and this is not about me, but in general I refrain. But lately, I have also supplicated, invoked against, praying to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. It's a prayer against all those who do not approve ceasefire in Gaza. If it's not a genocide, it's a genocidal. Ethnic cleansing. It's a sad story of humanity. All these UN uh, resolutions from the General Assembly, no impact. And in the Security Council, it was watered down. All the talk all these years about Western values and ethics and morality and all these international institutions. So take care. Never to curse anything that Allah Most High has created, whether an animal or a type of food or a particular person. Sometimes people curse their own children. That should not be the case. Nor to swear that one of the people of the Qibla is guilty of associating partners with Allah, or of disbelief, or of hypocrisy. Indeed, the only one who sees the secrets of the hearts is Allah Most High. So do not come between Allah Most High and His slaves. Know that on the day of judgment you will not be asked, why did you not curse or insult so and so, or why you were silent regarding so and so. Moreover, if you never once in your entire life curse Iblis, Satan, or even make mention of him, you would not be questioned about it. But if you curse someone, you'll be held responsible for it and be questioned about it. Do not find fault with anything in Allah's creation. For the Messenger of Allah وسلم, never once criticized food that was not good. Rather, if he liked the food, he would eat it. If not, he would leave it. Number 7, supplication against creation. Restrain your tongue from supplicating against any of the creatures of Allah Most High, even if He has wronged you. Consign the matter to Allah Most High. As the hadith says, verily, the oppressed one prays against the oppressor until he takes his right, then continues to the point where the oppressor has a claim over him, which he will demand on the day of judgment. إن المظلوم لا يدعو على ظالم حتى يكافئه. ثم يبقى للظالم فضل عنده يطالبه به يوم القيامة. Proportional, you would not know exactly where to stop. It's not up to you. A person once spoke out at length against Al-Hajjaj. Uh, One of the pious predecessors said to him, Allah will take vengeance for Hajjaj against those who attacked him verbally, such as he will take vengeance against Hajjaj for those whom he has oppressed. In fact, I wanted to explain really why would, the context for this, um, why Al-Hajjaj as an example. But if I do explain why, I will be at fault. Number 8, jesting, ridiculing, and making fun of people. Guard your tongue from these vices, for they make you lose face, diminish people's respect for you, cause people to have an aversion from you, and damage hearts. They are a source of obstinate disputation and falling out with one another, and they sow hatred in the hearts, planting. So do not make fun of anyone. If someone else makes fun of you, do not respond, and turn away from them until they talk about something else. Be of those who, when they pass by idle talk, pass by with dignity. والذين إذا مروا باللغو مروا كرامة. This is from Surah Al-Furqan. So these 8 that we have just read then comprise the calamities of the tongue. Imam Ghazali mentions 20 calamities of the tongue in the Ihya. Nothing will help you against them except solitude and forcing yourself to be silent, only speaking when necessary. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he used to put a stone, it's a pebble. He used to put a pebble in his mouth, which would prevent him from speaking except when necessary. He would point to his tongue and say, "This is what has brought troubles upon me." It doesn't mean that really he is in trouble, but this is piety. This is piety. So be on guard against your tongue to your utmost ability, for it is the greatest means of your destruction in this world and the next. So inshallah, tomorrow we will deal with the stomach. So we have finished reading about the tongue, not that all details are covered like in the Ihya, but suffice it that we have read what we have read so far. Until tomorrow, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.